This lesson is simplify square roots. Here we have an example, square root 36. What two number gives me 36, but they must be the same? One more time. What two number gives me multiply gives me 36, but they must be the same? So the only answer is 6 times 6 gives me 36, and since they are the same, twice, because it's repeated twice, we will write square, and then this square root symbol and this square right here, they cancel out, so my answer is 6. So square root 36 is 6. One more time. What two number multiply gives me 36, but they must be the same number? So the only answer is 6 times 6 gives me 36. And then 6 times 6 is rewritten as 6 squared. This symbol right here, the radical, is square root with a square. They cancel out. All I have left is just 6. Okay, so note, this symbol by itself, this symbol right here, is called square root. But once I have another number, 3, we call that cube root. 4, we call it fourth root, and so on down to the nth root. So what this number means is you must have a number that is repeated the same time 3 times. One more time. This number right here, 3, means that you must have a number that is repeated 3 times, and they must be the same. Same thing here, repeated 4 times, but must be the same number. Square root is the same thing, repeated twice with the same number. So this symbol right here is the same as over here. What two number multiply that is repeated gives me 36. So 6 times 6 is 36. They are the same number and they repeated twice. So the square root and the square cancels out. All I have left is 6. Okay. Over here, the next example, same thing. What two number will multiply gives me 245. So the only answer is 49 times 5. However, 49 can also be broken up into 7 times 7. Okay, so one more time. What two number multiply gives me 245? So 49 times 5 will gives me 245. However, 49 can be square root down to 7 because 7 times 7 is 49. So square root 49 is 7. Now for the 5, we cannot square root the 5, so we leave it alone. Any number that can be square root, we will square root. Any number that cannot be square root, leave it alone. Okay, so again, 49 times 5 is 245. However, 49 can be square root into 7. The 5 cannot be square root, so leave it alone. So break these two up into its own square root, and then square root 49 gives me 7. Square root 5 cannot be square root, leave it alone. And this is the final answer. Okay. Next example, same thing, but just more numbers, letters, and okay, so just the same thing but just more of it. Okay, so here 392. So what two number multiply gives me 392? So it will be 49 times 4 and times 2. So 2 times 4 times 49 which gives me 392. Okay, so we break this up into 3 parts, 49, 4, and 2. That's what I have here. Square root 4, square root 4, square root 49, square root 4, square root 2. Break this up as well, x squared, y squared. This 2, we're not doing anything about it yet, so we just bring it straight down. Now square root 49, we know that square root 49 will be 7. Square root 4 will be 2. Square root of x squared, because they are square, cancel out, I have x. Same thing with the y. Square root and square, they cancels out, so I have y. Okay, and this square root 2 cannot be square root, so leave it alone. So one more time, you're going to find a number that when I multiply will give me the total. However, make sure the number can be square root. One more time, find the numbers that will multiply will give me 392, but the number that I select must be square root. So 49 is square root, 4 can be square root, 2 cannot be square root, so I leave it alone. This x squared can be square root, so I end up with just x. This y is also square root, so it just end up y. Okay, and then anything that cannot be square root, we leave it alone. Okay, so one more time, find the numbers that multiply will give me 392. However, that number that we multiply must be square root. So 49 can be square root, 4 can be square root, this 2 cannot be square root, leave it alone. Separate this x squared into here. This can be square root, so there's my x. This y is separated into its own square root, so square root and square can be simplified down to just y. Okay, and then all I have left is just this 2, where this 2 came from the top right here because I haven't done anything to it, so bring it straight down. So 2 times 7 is 14, 14 times 2, which just gives me 28. Bring this x down because I already square root. Bring this y down because I already square root. And then this square root cannot be square root, leave it alone. This 2 right here cannot be square root, so leave it alone. Okay, so that's how you do square root. Make sure find a number that can be square root. Okay,